name's Julie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a special page to help me with my decluttering of my clothes. I don't know if those of you in America would call it cleaning out your closet, but basically I want to really think about the amount of clothes that I've got, what I've worn, what I haven't worn, what doesn't fit so well anymore, so that I can declutter my wardrobe, get rid of some things before I pack away all my summer clothes and get out my autumn wardrobe. I'm by no means a clothesaholic. My clothes spending is nothing like my sticker spending, but I do really love shopping, and I really missed during the pandemic being able to go out and try clothes on. So I think I've made up for it a little bit the last year or so, and I feel it's a good time to take stock of what I've got. There was only one set of sticker books that came to mind when I was thinking about this spread. I wonder if you can guess. Yes, it was those Wrong girls with their really fashionable, stylish clothes. I hardly ever use them anymore, so this is the perfect opportunity. Initially, I was going to use a plain piece of dot grid paper and some of these long boxes in this everyday sticker book. But then I found this page in my Stay Wild guided journal, which already has the boxes on it and some more on the back for something else that I want to do. So I thought that's going to save me a lot of time and trouble. I don't think that Stay Wild guided journal is still available, as it was from a few years ago, but Happy Planner continually bring out guided journals and they do have pre-made pages, so there may well be another one that has something similar. They're useful for all sorts of things. I used one fairly recently when I made my planner spending tracker. The best way to start with any sort of decluttering is to take a look at what you actually have, and I thought for clothes it was best to sort things into categories. As we already have 5 boxes on the page, I decided to use 5 categories, but I was a little bit concerned that some of the boxes were a bit small, so I added a larger box on top of this smaller one. I grabbed the Happy Planner alphabet sticker book to make a title. So glad I picked that up in a de-stash. And I'm just using the ruler trick to put the title close at the top of the page. I tend to use the checklist stencil rather than a ruler to do this because sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to get the letters to come off. I'm using Emoji 0.38 to add the word summer to the title because I decided to limit myself to just looking at my summer clothes. And yes, I am still wearing my summer clothes even though we're quite late into October because we've had some really good weather here in the UK this month. The 5 categories I used were tops, which I knew would be quite a big one because I do wear a lot of tops. That includes t-shirts and blouses and little strappy tops that I like to wear in the summer. Then I did trousers and jumpsuits. I like to wear a lot of crop trousers in the summer. And I'm also a bit of a fan of jumpsuits too. The smaller box I decided to use for skirts because I didn't think I had too many, although actually I found I had a lot more than I thought. The same was true for cardigans. I barely had enough room for everything I needed to write in this tiny box. The large box at the bottom I left for dresses because I have a tendency to pick up pretty dresses. It's just one of my many weaknesses along with my sticker spending. I tried to find some appropriately dressed Wrong girls to add to each of the boxes. So this one with long legs in jeans, very ripped jeans, don't have any of those. And then this cute girl in a very short skirt, again, don't have any of those. However, these girls are a lot more like me in their pretty dresses, as you'll see when I show you some of my dresses later on in the video. Also, this girl in her cold shoulder top, I'm a big fan of those. I've got one very similar. This sticker was the nearest that I could find to a cardigan. I think it's more of a jacket, but it does the job. I decided to use the back of the sheet, as it had 3 boxes, on the 3 things that I would do with the clothes that I didn't want. So I'm just using my Tipp-Ex Minnie Mouse to white out the headers that were already there on the page. I think I've mentioned before that I am struggling a little bit using this whiteout. I don't know why, but I'm just finding it really hard to get it to stay on the page when I apply it. May just be my technique, but I found I got on better with the Tombow correction tape. As it turned out, I ended up covering these with black boxes anyway, so I probably didn't even need to use the whiteout in the first place. These tiny boxes are probably my least favourite size of box because you can't write very much in them, but I actually found I've used them quite a bit this year for headers. Here I'm actually cutting the edge off one and joining two together to make a longer box to cover all the mess that I made with the whiteout. Remember, if you can't find the size box you want, you can usually make it just by putting two boxes together. The categories I decided upon was first to donate any clothes that were in good enough condition to a charity shop. But I also thought that I had some that were in really good condition and even some with the tag still on that I could sell. And finally, I thought it was only sensible, being a bit of a hoarder, to have a maybe box where I could write the names of some clothes that I hadn't worn in a while, just to bring them to my attention, and if I find I'm still not wearing them, then I can add them to one of the other two categories. There's that famous saying that we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time, and I really think that's true. There's nothing wrong with any of the clothes I'm listing here, but for whatever reason, I just don't reach for them, and I find another year's gone by and they've just stayed hung in my wardrobe while I either wear newer things or things I'm more comfortable in. By listing them here, I've got a record of them, and I know that if I don't wear them at all next summer, then they definitely need to go. I'm going to try not to add too many things to the sell list because selling clothes does take a little bit of time and effort, and I haven't done any clothes selling online for quite a while, so I can see it ending up me not getting rid of clothes but them hanging around my house even longer. On the other hand, I do have some clothes that could make me a little bit of money, even some things I bought and never even wore. I was really surprised to find some clothes that still had their label in and I'd not even worn them once. And of course now they no longer fit. Even though I got these in the sale, I'd still like to get a little bit of money back if I can. Here's an example of a beautiful dress that I've had for quite some years now, and I've never even worn it. Here's the label inside. You can see I got it in a sale, reduced from £70 to £49. I can be a bit of a procrastinator though, and I do have this little voice in my head that's telling me that the best thing to do when you're trying to declutter your wardrobe is to get things out of the house as soon as you can. I suppose if the worst comes to the worst and I still haven't done anything about these clothes at the end of the year, then I can just take them to the charity shop. The clothes I'm listing here for the charity shop are a mixture of ones that are in good condition but just don't fit me anymore, maybe ones I've not worn very much, and a few that I bought by mistake. It happens to us all. We see something in a shop, and even if we try it on, once we've taken it home and gone to actually wear it, we found it's not really our style. Fortunately, this doesn't happen to me too much when I'm shopping for clothes. I have a sort of rule, a bit like my rule with my stickers, that if I've got any doubts about something I've tried on, then I just don't buy it. But once every so often, I do make a mistake. I'm only human. So this was the part where I actually started listing all the clothes I had in each of the categories. At first I did this from memory, and then when I'd done everything that I could remember, I went up, took a look in my wardrobe, or should I say wardrobes, because I actually have two of them, one in the spare room, and checked what I'd forgotten. In the UK, we keep our clothes in wardrobes. We don't have these lovely walk-in closets that I see on the television. I would really love to have something like that. I definitely had more cardigans than I thought, but part of the reason for that was I did list my winter ones as well, because sometimes if it gets a bit cold in the English summer, then I do put my fluffy cardigans on as well. I would generally say that I'm much more of a dress or trouser person than a skirt person, but even so, it surprised me how many skirts I actually do own. I think maybe as I've got older, I have moved towards wearing more skirts for whatever reason. I've never actually made a list of what clothes I have, and I've realised now how important it is, because as I was making this list of skirts, I found out that Recently, I just bought myself a white skirt, but actually I already had not one, but two white skirts, one of which I'd hardly ever worn. One of my new rules is going to be I don't buy something that I've already got, so no more white skirts for me, and I need to whittle down my 3 skirts to just one. The only other skirt I bought this summer was this one. Definitely not got anything like this in my wardrobe. I think it's my one and only animal print outfit, and it seems to be really on trend. This summer I treated myself to 4 pairs of trousers. 2 of them were jumpsuits. In fact, they were exactly the same jumpsuit, but just with slightly different colours. That's something I have a tendency to do. If I find something I really like and I feel comfortable in, I will buy it in different colours. For those of you who are from the UK, I really mourn the loss of British Home Stores because I used to buy a lot of my clothes from there, and I would get such pretty tops and trousers in about 2 or 3 different colours. These jumpsuits were from a shop called Apricot, which I absolutely hate going in because they have all the clothes hanging on wooden coat hangers rammed in on the same rack, and it takes ages and ages to actually find the size of the item because they don't have a little disc on the coat hanger telling you. You have to actually try to find the label on the piece of clothing itself. The other thing that happens is that the clothes fall off the coat hanger as soon as you look at them, and you spend half your time putting them back on. So really not one of my favourite shops, but I did love these jumpsuits and I ordered them online after trying them on once in the store. The other 2 pairs of trousers I bought were some crop trousers with a sort of leaf print all over them, very tropical. I like that sort of design. But to be honest, I didn't really need to buy 2 pairs because although they were from different shops, the colours are so close you can hardly tell them apart. Nothing makes me happier than when it's finally summer and I can put on one of my pretty long dresses. They're my favourite things to wear. Here's one of the dresses I bought this summer. It's so pretty. As soon as I saw it, I just had to have it, even though I didn't have a special occasion to wear it to. I just wear it when I'm out meeting my friends. I think it makes you feel really good and does wonders for your confidence when you're wearing something you really like, feel comfortable in, and know that you look really good in. I actually bought 4 dresses this year, but I decided to take 2 of them back because I had some from last year that I hadn't even worn. This dress is super pretty, and as I said earlier, I really love the cold shoulders. But can you believe I haven't even worn it? I'm definitely going to wear it next year, maybe on a trip to the theatre. In my defence, we didn't have the best summer this year or the hottest weather, but back to what I said about wearing 20% of your clothes 80% of the time, I tended to reach for my other dresses. As you can see from my list, I have quite a lot. Here's another really beautiful dress that I didn't wear this summer. When I go into a shop, it tends to be the first thing that my eyes go to, the dresses. And of course, a bit like my sticker spending, I never pay full price for anything. I always make sure I get things in a sale. A lot of these really dressy dresses are reduced quite a bit at the end of the season, and that's when I pick them up. As I have so many lovely dresses, I've told myself that next year I'm only allowed to buy 1. Let's see if I can stick to it. The next part I've had to speed up because the number of tops I've actually got is ridiculous. I could even wear a brand new top every day for about 3 weeks and not have to do any washing. I seriously need to look at these tops, sort out my favourites and get rid of some. Unfortunately, as I've said, I do have a bit of an issue with getting rid of things. My mum is the same. With her, I think it's because she was brought up in quite poor times. There was a war going on, and she always sees a use in everything. My childhood wasn't quite the same, but I certainly didn't have all the toys I would have liked and things that I saw my friends have. And I really do have a thing about value for money, so I find it really hard to get rid of things. Our experiences when we're young really do shape our personalities and sometimes cause problems for the future. I'm going to sound really old here, but the other thing I find with clothes is that clothes today just aren't the quality that clothes were in the past. So I have some clothes that have lasted many, many years and I'm still wearing, whereas clothes I bought just 2 years ago are already falling apart. So that's another reason why I hold on to things if there's nothing wrong with them. I finally got to the end of my top list, or at least I think. I end up adding quite a few more after I've checked my wardrobe. As you can see, I have a bit of a tendency to buy white tops. They're my favourite, particularly those with the broderie anglaise on them. I've actually found this so useful making a list of all my clothes. I honestly didn't know I had so much. I'll be able to refer to it next year, and things that I don't wear next summer will definitely make it onto the back of this page. I hope if you've stuck with me this far, you'll have found something in this video that's useful. I know it's a bit different from my usual videos, but I like to share ways that I use my planner supplies to help me with my everyday life. And I'm sure I can't be the only person who has a little bit of an issue with getting rid of clothes. I really recommend making a list just as a starting point to see what you've got. Then my next tip, once you've decided to get rid of some things, is to do it straight away. That's another thing I really struggle with. Once I made this page, I sorted out all the clothes to go to the charity shop and they're still sitting in a bag waiting for me to take them out of the house. But at least I've made a start, and they do say small steps lead to big results. Don't be disheartened if, like me, you find it difficult to get rid of things. Just do what you can. If you do have any of the guided journals with the pre-made pages lying around in your stash, then remember they are really useful for making pages like these. Hope you have a great weekend. Happy planning, take care, and see you soon.